All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the directory webinar number 13 for this week. Today's topic, 4 services to execute your UTM parameters, link shortening, and pixel tracking. And as always, we'll go ahead and get into that presentation in a little bit. We'd like to just always open it up for just discussion, say hi to everybody in the group today, answer some questions about BD. We can go over some of the stuff that they just went over in the webinar last night, some of the new rollouts as well, if anybody'd like to see those again as well, or if they missed it and just want to see it for the first time. But welcome everybody in the group here. Cecilia, looks like Jamie, Mark, welcome back. Olga, welcome from Ireland, in for the first time today, I think. And then Ronnie also joining us as well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the chat here. We can talk for a little bit. Tell everybody what we're up to, or have any questions, just feel free to jump in and join the conversation. So, Jamie, welcome.
How you doing?
Good. So I'm glad you got your question answered yesterday, I guess, on the webinar.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Yeah, the only thing he was doing, I don't that. When you're using those tables or whatever, sometimes the tables aren't necessarily as mobile friendly. So if anybody's ever using that from the drag and drop thing, just be aware of that. Make sure it looks, like you want to in mobile. I'd always check that.
I messed with it after I messed with some of the settings afterwards to make the Facebook group the same, or save the Facebook widget the same height as the actual contact us part.
Okay.
So
and then
I haven't checked it on the mobile. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it may work. The tables are actually wrapping pretty good in there. I was surprised. Usually back in the day, they used to not do that. So, but just one of the things, if you can convert that into a bootstrap table, size if you wanted to, instead of the tables, and then you could actually kind of, you can even do that with the tables. You can kind of drag and drop the size, but it usually does like a pixel thing as opposed to a percentage. Or an exact amount. So you could, if you did the bootstrap tables, you can like make the Facebook, 4/12 of the width, and then the other one 8/12. So it takes up the full width and doesn't have the white space.
Where do you fix the bootstrap?
Well, you'd have to add it. You'd have to add the code in.
Oh, okay.
Manually. It doesn't. I wish they had actually they drag and dropped the bootstrap code in there. So you drag it in there and it's just bootstrap code in there instead of tables. I'm assuming maybe they could do that. They just decided not to. I'm not sure.
The mobile version's all right because it just goes on top and bottom of it. I mean, it's the thing I was having problems with is the padding of the table, because when you're working with the drop downs, it doesn't really do what you think it's doing. And then it also, if you notice that when you click on one, they all get highlighted. All the paddings there's like a weird thing with the click on and off of the drop down. It's just strange. Yeah,
I haven't really used that that much on I normally just go straight to the code. I know some people don't. So
yeah, I mean, I can mess with the code, but I can't start the code.
Right. No, I'm actually the same way.
I'm surprised that they didn't go over the new fields and the new tabs in the subcategory, the categories in the section.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know if they throw the Easter eggs out there and see if anybody's paying attention or clicking around. I tend to notice those more often, obviously, because I'm in there working on everybody's site, so I kind of see stuff pop up. Let me go ahead and do the demo real quick on that. What Jamie's talking about.
I don't think they're finished with it either, because there's not a way they don't have the drop downs.
Right, it's not doing anything. So what Jamie's talking about is inside the member categories tab. It used to have only top level categories and sub level categories, and then they just added the sub level categories and broke that out. And so to Jamie's point, I don't think they added any functionality yet. I think they're just getting ready to do that. What they're basically doing is parsing out the tab. And so this is one of those things where where sometimes they jump on and say, hey, it seems intuitive that we would have always had this, one of those options. This is one of them, because what ended up happening was it didn't differentiate, and it was confusing a little bit, right, until you knew that the subs were in there. But it grouped them all. So when you're in here, it would have, this could have been a subcategory with only one, and then the next one, like you will see here, the next one would have had, 2. The next one would have had 1. It just mingled them all together. So now they're in their separate categories. Like obviously everybody would have said, like they should have always been. The one thing that I'm hoping they turn on, and again, I haven't got any insight on this yet or what they're looking to do. Hopefully these are going to be drop down fields with just the auto fill in. So if I change the top level category for this subcategory, then that'll go blank basically, because I haven't picked a subcategory yet, because I'm basically changing the top level, and then I go in here on a drop down, pick the sub level, and then that's now where that subcategory resides. And then as a consequence of me doing that, then all of these members that are in that subcategory will be auto updated. Yeah,
that's what we would. The other thing I mentioned to them, I actually put a support ticket in for like a wish list. So since they have the top, the sub, and the sub, to be able to sort each one of those differently. So I can do one alphabetically, I can do one by sort order. That way, the problem that I'm having would be fixed, because I want all the subs to be alphabetized, but I want the sub level to be a specific order.
Got it.
The only way to do that, I guess, is some code.
Yeah, and you're talking in the search results, right?
Yeah, so that, again, it's something that you say that not a lot of people use, but I think for my sake, it's easier for me also to look at them when I'm adding stuff. And
right. So let me, we'll just go over that real quick for everybody watching doesn't know what he's talking about or how to do that. So you can order these in search results. So when I go to my website real quick, what you're going to see when that loads, when you hit the search results, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a general search for all the categories. When that comes up, you have a couple different options to sort by. You can sort just by alphabetical, either A to Z or Z to A. You can sort by ID number, which basically results to whichever one came first or last if you do it the opposite direction, or you can do random. And then there's one other kind of add-on that you can also sort by most reviews. So that's an option as well to kind of get the order. But those are your options that you have. This is how you do that. Basically, you can do this for the listings or for the individual post types. And what you need to do is go to content and edit post settings. And once that loads up, just find the one that you want. I'm going to do the listing because this is the one we're talking about. That is your membership listings, like your categories for everybody posting a business. And you go in there and hit edit. And once you get in there, there's going to be a couple things on tabs. You want to go to the search results design tab. There's going to be some extra stuff here at the top: code, main header, loop, and then the footer. And then there's just a little button down here called additional settings. And when you click that, it has some additional search options. And right here is the order results by. I have it as random, but you can also pick A to Z, Z to A, oldest, newest, and then number of reviews like we just said. So those are your options. And this works across basically every listing and every listing result there by, when you start funneling it down. So his point is if you're just filtering by a sub level ID, and let me just go to the search results here for an example. Let's say I go for, I'm looking for a category of, I'm just going to go to food and drink. I'm going to search for that. Now this will add a top level category when I add the search. And so when it searches, it's going to come up with a search results SID. And that is a basically a service ID. Yeah, thanks. I'm not sure who that was, but and then specializing in, I'm going to go bakeries, and I'm going to add that in there. And now when I do that search, it's going to add a TID, and the TID is the subcategory. And then you can actually have a subcategory in that if you have it, and then that would add another ID number. So I think, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, what you're asking for is, hey, when I'm searching for a particular subcategory, I don't want to have the same order layout as I did for the top level or general search results. I want to have a different search order result for that TID or the sub level. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, like the order that I want the subcategories, which are basically my main categories in a sense. The subcategories, I want them to be done by a sort order, like the way, like not alphabetized. But then I want all the category, the subcategories to be alphabetized as I add them in, instead of having to now. But right now you can either go, if you look on the back, if you go back to members or categories in the back house.
I just want to go to the categories?
At back office, yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And if you go to, yeah, you'll see it right here on the top right, it says front end display.
Yes.
You can only do one.
Right. And so this is new. They just added that.
Yeah, so you can only do either one of those. So you can't do the sub. See what really should have happened. I mean, the best way that they should have developed it is that if everything is set to 0, but you're doing it by sort order, whatever is set to 0 would be alphabetized. But instead, it does it by the ID. So in other words, so if I do sort order, right, and everything's 0, but except for, like I say, I do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So those 5 are the first 5 that show up. Whatever 0, what they do is they look at the ID number instead of alphabetized.
Right, but you're talking now. You're talking the front page widget is what you're talking now, right?
Well, it's not it's that right there.
I'm pretty sure that this is not
that screen. Yeah, it was the one right there. Go back to the other screen that you were at. Yeah, and then go back one. Oh, well, wait. The one that you had all the categories listed on the left-hand side. That's what the front end display is.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, for the category. This one.
Yeah, so right there on the left. So basically, you have everything alphabetized. So the agriculture and arts, right? But mine are done by what's more important, and then inside there, I want it all alphabetized underneath it. And if you do it by sort order, you can only do everything sort order. What they really need to do is subcategories. Each one of them, since now they have tabs and all this new stuff, they should add another 2 different ways of, like, taking your main categories and either doing it by sort order alphabetized, your subcategories, and then your subs.
So, yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that's what you're talking about at first. So, yeah, I thought you were just talking about the actual search results. Well, I just made that up then. But that would be something good too, right? Where you can alphabetize those separately. But I see what you're saying there. And so that is fairly new. They just added that to be able to change, because it always used to just be, I think, alphabetical. So used to. And
then I found a bug in the new feature they added with that to show subcategories on your specialties. They added that in advance, and then they
okay, good.
So I think last week they updated that, where they added that. But I think we looked at it last week, where you can either turn on or turn off.
Yeah.
But there's an issue with if you have a subcategory that is by itself and you want them to click on it, it doesn't show up on their specialties. So it's a little weird thing. But anyway.
And so what he's talking about, let me just go view this one, for example. What he's talking about is the normally this has all of your sub and sub level categories in there. So in my case, it's beauty and spa. This is the subcategory, but you can't really tell that. And then this is the sub category. We've got 2 of them here. So what that setting basically can do is that it can turn that on or off, where you just don't show the sub level category. It will only show the sub.
Because that subcategory, in your sense, is really just the a folder or like
right. It's a higher level folder. It's
and
more. It would be important for now. There's some purpose. There's some potential use here as well. These are all hot links. So if for some reason you're looking at these and you're like, well, I want to, and it's already here because I use the related searches thing.
Right.
But it only grabs certain things. Like it'll grab location and your category. So if I want to go beauty spa in Michigan, I can do that. But let's say I want a beauty spa everywhere. Like that's not an option in here. This goes all the way to the top level, the health and personal care. So what this one does is it allows you to just go, hey, boom, I can go straight to all the search results for everywhere for beauty and spa that's in my directory. There we go. There's my 26 beauty and spa stuff.
I didn't even realize those were hot links.
Yeah. So they're all hot links. So there is some utility there of not turning that off. But
so go back again. I'm going to tell you where the problem is. So if you have your categories, your memberships, like where one gets like, let's say one category they can select and your plus gets 5 categories.
Right.
It doesn't count that beauty and spa, but it shows it. And instead of saying 5 categories, it'll say 6 categories. So in other words,
there's some language in the back there. Like when you say, hey, allow one category, it's really more than one category because you have to have, like you're saying, a subcategory and a subcategory. That's really 2 categories, and it shows up in there. But it's counterintuitive when you're advertising. You only get 1 category. Just kidding. Well, you're really in 2 because you got
Yeah, I mean, it's really what they need to do is, and I told them, I said they should not count anything that's not anything that doesn't have a. Or if it's a sub, how do I say it? If it's like the label of the subcategories, and it shouldn't, because it's not a click, it's not like a checkbox on it. Whatever doesn't have a checkbox,
No, but it's a database. It automatically includes in the actual thing. So this is what Jim is talking about. So when you have a multiple drop down, when you have subcategories, it's going to be right here in your listing details. This is where you add the subcategories or specialties or whatever you're calling it. We used this example last week, but this medical equipment is a sub level, and there is no sub level. So I can go boom, and now I'm in that category, but that's a subcategory. But in order to go into massage therapy, which there's some of these that this one is offering, if I click hot stone therapy or whatever, now that's a subcategory, but there's nowhere to click or unclick massage therapy. I can't turn that on or off. It automatically includes that.
Yeah, it'll automatically include it. Now where the bug is, go put that drop down back up again. Where you have medical equipment, right? So if I click medical equipment, but I have that setting turned on, the new setting turned on, medical equipment won't show up in your specialties. That's where the kind of the bug is. So in other words, since it's not showing subcategories, it's not going to show that medical equipment.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So that what they need to do is go, if it's a hot, if it's like,
because you're just basically saying you just want it off the profile page, but you still want it to be counted or to show up for a search.
Well, I don't care what the system does, but to somebody that, like, I don't know, if somebody might complain, go, why does this person have 6 and I have 5? And they really have 5, but it's showing 6 because it has, message therapy as one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, in other words,
I don't think it does. I don't think it does. It doesn't have massage therapy here, but it's going to show up in the back end as being searchable under that, but it's not showing up as a category.
But when you go to your listing.
Well, it's on there. It's on there as I know you're saying if they go in there and
if I go to
on the profile.
Yeah, if I go to the profile and, like, if let's say somebody's searching and goes and sees that their competitor has 6 categories and they only were allowed to get 5, but both of them really only have 5 because one is, just the subcategory.
Right. So this one really has 8, but it's showing 9.
Yeah, exactly. It's
you're overthinking it too much, Jamie. I don't think anybody's ever going to complain about that. But
but you never know. You always.
So then you're like, well, then upgrade and you can have more than them. So that's my solution. But no, I think there is a workaround to get rid of that and to not count that in the tag there, and change the 9 to an 8. So there is a coding way around that. But
well, I know there's that. Well, so that new subcategory, turn on or off, can fix it. But what I have to do is, what I could do is I can take that, go back to your to your dashboard. So you can go back to your dashboard. Oh, it's slow. So go back to the categories.
There's some delay in the transfer of the webinar too, I think so.
So if you made medical equipment a subcategory and then put another medical equipment under that subcategory, then it would be a drop down, and all you got to do is hit medical equipment, and that fixes the whole thing. In other words, so everything you see there has a drop down, even though that medical equipment has only one subcategory or sub.
Right.
That's a fix for it. But it's just that for me, I have too many single subcategories.
Okay.
But anyway, it's weird.
So, and we've gone over this before. One of the things, the good and bad about BD, obviously, when they're good, they keep adding stuff and adapting and whatever. And they'll fix the stuff, but usually stuff by enhancing something, it makes it everything starts intertwining after a while, and they change one thing and affects another. And sometimes they can't catch everything in the QC. So if you guys ever see that, just pass it on to support, and obviously they'll add it to the queue and get that fixed to one of the hundreds of things that they fix every month. All right. Well, let me, before I open up to another question, I'm going to just go over one feature that they introduced yesterday. And I know Jamie was on there because I saw him on there, but this will be a review for him a little bit, but we'll just kind of go over some of the new stuff that were on the webinar. So one of the cool ones, obviously the big one that they did there was they turned on the universal search for the website. So I know a lot of people have been waiting for this one. So I'm just going to demo this for everybody. And this is an easy turn on and easy execution for you, and can probably provide some immediate efficiency and use for your particular directory. So all you have to do is go to the settings, design settings, homepage layout, and in the homepage search settings, in the search type, whatever you were using before, go ahead and scroll all the way down to the bottom. It's not at the top, like the most important one. It's all the way at the bottom. I guess it makes it easy as well. Click your global website search from the search type and save. And what you're going to get is the brand new universal search. So before, let me just, I'm going to do my drop down here. If I typed in the word pizza, right? It has the search, but what it would do, we could, it parses out the different events here. I could see if you have this set up where here I can go to the listings, different events, and you can set how many you want to show up on here for listings, events, and categories, etc. And coupons. I can keep scrolling down. So I got 3 of each there, and so you can get to all the pizza stuff. You always had that, which is kind of like universal search-ish, right? Where you can just search there, don't just browse what you want, click it, and then go straight to that particular item. But they never had an actual full site search, and so this one always defaulted to one particular item, and this one was always the listing post type. So I'm going to go ahead and search for pizza on this one. And this is what it always used to show. Like it assumes you're looking for a business. Remember, it's a directory. And so it comes up with, there's the 37 pizza places in West Michigan here by me. So I used to be able to go there, and then you could click on here, but you wouldn't be able to get to an event or a coupon or an article from any that has the word pizza in it, or any articles from these people, because you'd have to go into the listing and then go, check on their tabs, or go look somewhere else, like go to the events area or the deals and coupons, the gift cards, whatever, to find that content. So now that is still the same, but now I've got the universal search one installed here. Now it looks exactly like it did before. However, the embedded stuff in here is going to react differently, and we'll show you how this works. So now if I go ahead and hit search now on pizza on my site, now, instead of that single result, I now have a universal search widget showing up here. I now have the same 37 member profiles here, and I still have the view more results. But I now can go straight to the coupons and deals for pizza. I can go straight to the events that apparently they're serving pizza at this one, and then this one is products. So these are all the gift cards from all the pizza places that are selling gift cards. So now, without having to have a separate sidebar search or go find the events or search this and then have to go in there, I now have every pizza thing on my directory in one area. And the cool thing is now using the site search area, you can now set up keywords where you could then site search for other keywords and create links directly into this multi event search, basically. So let's say we want to let's say dental. I'll just make that up. When my wife works in the dental field, we'll do dental. And so again, you do the same thing. And now I have the 35 dental agencies in West Michigan here. I've got a dental video, or somebody posted a dental video, and I've got 3 dental articles. So
this is for entire site though, right?
What was that?
Is this doesn't do anything with the areas that they're in though, postal codes, or it does everything, right? That's everything.
It does correct. So there was some feedback yesterday, and it seems like an easy add because they've already got it on there. In fact, I'm gonna search real quick here. I'm gonna see what the code. I don't even know if the code probably doesn't work. I mean, what we're looking at doing is doing this, right? Where the keyword is dental, Hudsonville. I want it to look exactly like this. Right. And so right now it does not do that. It's
so
just
take that and copy it over to the.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see if it does anything. I don't think it'll work. Otherwise, they would have showed it last night. Because the problem, so they didn't find anything, and it's just not set up to pull the additional question, additional tags in there. Right. And the reason they give that is because most of the post types don't have an address, right? There's not an address for an article or a post code for a coupon, right? There's just not one in the system. So ideally, the way around that for me is just to whoever posted it,
right,
has an address associated with their ID. So
exactly,
it should just be whoever. If somebody from that zip code has an account in here from their main listing and they posted a coupon, that's going to show up.
The only thing would be different would be is if like the admin, let's say I was doing all the blog posts and I live in Florida and they did a search in California, for something, it wouldn't, none of my blog posts would show up.
Well, you could set it up for the admin blog author to be available in all areas for all searches, set it up like that.
Yeah. You're right.
So that's how I would do that. Anybody have any questions on that?
That's a good idea. Well, one question. What's the one you're using up top? The top search one up top on your header. What
keyword and location?
It's just keyword and location.
Yeah,
that's what I have, and I didn't. Okay.
So any comments from anybody on that or questions?
I'll change that right now.
All right. Let me welcome Frank. The Oracle is in the house.
Hello. At ease, I'll be in the area all day.
Excellent. A little topical humor for us from Frank. You got to have a joke with that, though. You actually have to provide a joke.
Right.
And then I can do the bum.
I was going to wear my COVID-19 mask and tell you that I was worried that you were all plague carriers.
I am. Luckily, they can't move that stuff over the internet, so it's very safe. All right. Well, let me go over one of the other items on there. So one of the other items they went over was the drag and drop stuff. So that is live. If you guys did not know that is there, I know some people here have BD blocks and use that. This is not BD blocks by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a few elements, obviously, and they'll add some stuff eventually anyway. Jamie was on there, got something situated, I think, for his site. Actually, I don't think they used the drag and drop. He just coded it in there. But here's what it is. We're just going to go to any page. Then you have this new column here now called draggable content blocks. And so if you go in here, it's all set up. And I'm just going to drag. There's only 5 of them. So I'm just going to drag all of them over here, just like they did on the webinar. It is that simple to drag it in there. There's the 3-column feature, the 4-column feature, and then the FAQ module. So there you go. So now it's all in there, and then all you have to do is click that, go swap images. You can do your normal stuff that you do, put it in there, change the title. These action links are all editable. So when you edit the link, an action link, you can change all the parameters for that. And you can change the style. Let's say you want it just a normal sized warning. You can make it that any color you want just by automatically changing the pull down there to change the color. And then just all the normal stuff for editing. But you can see how fast and easy that was to add that in there. Now you don't have to sit there with tables, add it in there. They're just all drag and drop simple on that. That one's pretty simple. The couple things that did not make the push, which they forgot about, if you have custom homepage content on that web page, because that is really an SEO page setting, they forgot to push that out to there. So that is not available right now, but they will get that in there later. All I would do is, if you're worried about that, you want custom content, just drag one section in here that you want, go to the editor, just copy the code that's in there, and then paste it in to your other page. So you can just cut and paste until they get that fixed up. And then they're also going to add that for email templates. So when you're writing an email, they'll have those available as well, but that is not out for this iteration. So hopefully that's good news for some of you guys. I didn't see that yesterday. Any questions on that one? Comments?
I used it yesterday. It was very easy to use. I find it very useful.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have everything in there, but it's obviously, and I'll save this real quick just to kind of show you guys what it looks like. And it looks good, and it's easy to edit, right? It's a good start. It's a good launching point, because let's be honest. It's the hardest thing is always to get started on these things and kind of have a baseline. But once you have something to work from, it's a lot easier to execute later. So, I'm going to
use it for an advisory board page that I'm putting together.
Okay. Yeah, and obviously you can put other elements. You don't have to, I would use all these on one page, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier to start out. That's for sure. All right, one other things, they were launching all sorts of stuff this last week, which is awesome. One of the other ones that they edited was the homepage. So I'm going to go back to my homepage elements here, and I have some elements that have additional ones that I'm not showing for some of these items because there's just too many. So let's say I'm going to edit. Yeah, I'm going to edit this. These are gift cards, but what they just turned on was a homepage slider. So you can actually do a 4x1 at this, but not be restricted to that. And normally, if you want 8 of them, you'd have to have 8, and you'd always be showing 8, but it'd take up 8 worth of your thing. If you had, like for this example, it's taking up the whole screen, but just have them all on there. So what they turned on was a new setting on there. So let's go to design settings in your settings menu for your website, and on the second tab there, just like normal for redoing the order on your website, there's going to be a section for streaming widgets if it ever shows up. There we go, homepage layout and homepage section order. And now I've got my streaming coupons products. Sorry, this is my gift card. I'm using the products one for now. So I want to go to hit the edit settings, and inside of that, we now have a I should have went over this before. Let's see. Oh, maybe I got to turn on 8 results. Let's see. Mine did not get pushed on some of the stuff, so they had to fix my site. Jamie, did you have it on yours?
I didn't check it. I'll
Yeah.
go look right now while you're doing that.
Non-searchable. So, when in doubt, so I'm gonna have to ask. They had a glitch on some of the pushouts. So when in doubt, I'm gonna go to their demo site and I'm gonna use theirs. Hopefully, this is still on there. Yep. So here you go. This is what it looks like. I won't go through the demo. Bottom line is on the pull down menu in that streaming thing, you're gonna have an option to turn on the scrolling. So now this is a 3-wide coupon thing, but as you can tell, I can scroll through all the coupons. I can scroll through all of the articles. And I'm not limited to that. So kind of just opens up a little bit of interactivity with the website.
What was the actual field that I'm looking for on there?
I don't know. I was casually watching. I didn't really look at it yesterday. I thought it would be fairly obvious that it's just like a yes or a no, like scrolling enabled, yes or no.
Yeah, I don't have the scroll either.
You don't have it either. Okay, well, maybe they had an issue with it and pulled it back. I'm not sure. Sometimes it happens, but that is coming if you don't already have it. I haven't heard anything, so if you don't have it, just email support, I guess, and ask them to turn it on or ask them where it's at. Just really sometimes too, sometimes this happens if you don't get something or something's not working like it should. Sometimes it's because you have something customized and they just couldn't push the update to your software because you're using the non-standard one. Or sometimes they update the default one, but you're not using the default code. You're doing the custom code, and so just keep that in mind whenever you're customizing. Let's say you have an A and B code from them. If you add C, and then you add a D, let's say code, and so yours now looks like ABD, and then they add some additional stuff to the baseline one and ABC. Well, your code's still going to be ABD because you can't update that. What you kind of have to do is undo your customization, go back to the original one ABC, and then add your D back in. So now you have ABCD and have all the letters. That's just a brief example, but that's how that works. So sometimes when something's not working, that may be it. But this one is in the back end for the admin, should not be the case. And so if it is not working, just go ahead and let BD know, and they can try to fix it. So that was a cool new feature that they just added. And then this is kind of a back end thing. It's really not that big a deal, but they did change some of the general settings locations. And this may be more helpful for some of the international audience here for some of the settings for localization. Used to kind of be all over the place in admin settings and advanced settings, and it was hard to find. So they moved some of the integrations around up here. The analytics is now up here with the Google Maps, so that got pushed over. Some of all the search settings are now here in a search settings tab with all the some of the advanced settings that used to be off on their own in advanced settings. They've kind of parsed that out. And then they have all the localization stuff. So date formats, languages, currencies, including the new currency format that they added in there, which was helpful. I know you got a client in Bangladesh and some other places where just the commas are actually in different spots or no commas at all. Be surprised how variant numbers are in the world. That you thought numbers were standard. They're not. It's pretty amazing that a lot of these are different. But now you can pick all your country and have it update automatically. And then obviously add the type of currency you have. So very, very flexible here. And then that makes it a little bit easier for some of the people's stuff. So that's pretty the big highlights there from yesterday. Jamie, did I miss anything?
I got a question because I was curious. I tried to get the answer asked or the question asked. They were talking about the customizing the URLs for the searches for the members. And what is the benefit? Was there any benefit for that? Like, in other words, instead of your, like my members show like the country, the I don't know what the country category, whatever the URL is. Remember they were showing you can now customize each.
Yeah, I don't think that one's live yet. What it basically was it was an advanced setting, and right now the breadcrumb is kind of static. You can set it up per individual or set it up in the thing, and I don't think it's live there, Jamie. I think they're working it. But bottom line, what it was going to be an advanced setting. It was basically going to look like kind of like the. Let me just go back to here. I just kind of show you what it would look like. It basically allows you to set up the URL structure so you can kind of maneuver it how it's going to work exactly for you, and more of an ease system for setting up the breadcrumbs than it was before. So it ends up looking like when you pick the subcategories here, it looks like this, where you would basically say, I want the country code and then /state/blank. And you basically set up the breadcrumb and the URL trail there as the default, I think is how it worked. And then that would be in an advanced setting situation just to change that out. So
hit view public listing real quick.
So you're basically changing that.
So is there a benefit for that and anything? I mean, they were saying SEO, I don't know if it has anything to do with.
Well, I mean, that's why you would normally not want to do it, because it's basically telling Google, hey, it's in this state, this city. It's got all my category keywords in there, and then then the name of the company. So, you can tweak it a little bit. One benefit, I don't know what it looks like. They didn't really explain it that well. They kind of glossed over it real fast, but I'd imagine maybe that you can add in your own kind of custom things in there. So let's say you wanted to say, local Michigan businesses, right? This is not a category. It's not a location, but I want to stick that one in there for keyword purposes. It's in that. No, it's now in that folder.
So every single one of them is going to have that in the beginning.
But every single one of them is going to have local Michigan business in there. Or you can say, let's say, Hudsonville business near me, right?
Oh yeah, there you go. They don't get all the near me's.
Then you get all the near me. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Or you have dynamic thing where it's like a percent sign, where it automatically replace health and personal care business near me or something like that. Now that's in the title. So I don't exactly know the implementation of it. That'd be cool if they did that. I mean,
that's smart.
Yeah.
If you did, but do they ever send release notes for these updates?
Yes, they do. So let me go to that real quick. If you go to their website, the easiest way to get to it, I think, is the blog. Click the blog up there, and then down here they have monthly change log. Go ahead and click that, and then here's the notes from July, and you can go to town and die sleeping reading all of the changes that they made last month. So there's 120.
Or get to bed quicker, you mean?
Oh yeah, exactly. So in case you guys were wondering, they fixed an issue which is causing the system to stretch the profile cover photo on member profile pages if the dimensions of the profile cover photos was changed in the image settings. So actually,
I wonder if that was what we were talking about last week.
I was like, how random is that?
Wow.
I think that actually, let me see. I was just randomly picking. I was picking
That's
something
funny.
like, do you really even care about that? But I think we do. We actually talked about that. So let's see. It was causing system to stretch. Okay. So no, this was not what we were talking about. This is what I had asked them to fix. And so what was happening? I think maybe the problem we're having now is it may be my fault. And I was going to admit to that last week and I forgot. So what was happening in that editor? If you said you want your profile thing 1140 by 200, for example, if you had that setting and somebody drug that highlighting thing out taller than your setting, like if they drug it out to a 400 high, by 1140, which you can do, which we showed that last week. It would let you do that, and it would save that picture, but it was shoving that image that they were allowed to crop down into the image section that you said you wanted. So, for example, it would make that 400 pixel image tall. It would shrink it down to 200, and everything would look squatted and smushed because it was forcing it into the correct size that you said you wanted. It was just their fault because they expanded it out past the window that popped up. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So I basically told them, I'm like, that's an error. It should come up with the, it shouldn't resize it or squash it, because what was happening is we're in the same situation where a person uploading it didn't know that, right? They're just able to move the crop bars up and down. They selected a larger area because that's what they wanted to show, and then they couldn't figure out why it was squashing it. And, so they had an example of somebody had a bunch of squares, and they uploaded it, and they all became rectangles because it squashed it down to that 200 high, and they're rectangles now instead of squares. And I'm like, I didn't upload that. Well, they did. It was forcing it to go to that 200. And so what I think happened was they didn't have a fix for it, or they didn't want to fix it. So they just turned off the squashing code that it was doing, and then just let it upload at whatever height that they adjusted it to. And so now we're back where we are now, where it kind of ignores the settings in the back end because it just lets them upload however high a picture that they want. Does that make sense? So now we ended up with now non-standard profiles like you talked about last week. So I have a ticket in there on that. As soon as I get a response back, I'll cover that in maybe next week's webinar. But that is very funny. But you can see. They detail everything that they do, and so I read this just so I catch some stuff. Everybody on the webinar probably doesn't want to, but maybe you do. But that's where they're at. Blog, and then monthly change log, and then go to the specific date. So, any questions on that from anybody? All right. What's up with everybody else? Frank, you got anything for today? Any questions or hot topics?
No, I'm buried over here setting up my Book Like a Boss and Dub. Got Book Like a Boss pretty well worked out.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's not too complex on that one. The cool new thing, and again, I'll do a plug here for the Book Like a Boss. I do have some of those still available at a discount if anybody wants to do that, and I'll put the link in here for anybody on that. But the cool thing with the Book Like a Boss is it does booking software for your particular website. They just announced Google Meet integration as well. They've already always had Zoom integration, but now you can also link into Zoom meetings if you don't want to pay for Zoom, or you don't have Zoom. Actually, you can use the free Zoom, so you don't need to pay for it anyway. But they now have Google Meet integration as well. So I'll just put that in the chat room. I was going to push it. I don't have a call to action.
What I understand about Book Like a Boss is, since it's a calendar scheduling application, why do they give you the ability to share other calendars? Like I can hook up Calendly to it, which is kind of weird.
You can add Calendly to Book Like a Boss?
Yeah. You can bring in outside calendars.
Well, I mean, I think if it's I don't know.
Doesn't make any
if it's well, so they also have what the other ones don't have. They have more of an integrated landing page kind of set up. And they do, and probably they opened it up because they're doing a company version where you can have, various people come in as a company. So let's say somebody on your team already has it set up, or some of your counselors or something already use Calendly. Well, now you can roll everybody into the fold, and you can have all those on the company thing with the landing page. Most of the links are maybe hooked up on one because of Zoom, and maybe the other one's hooked up on Calendly because that ties in with something that they're using or something for their niche or genre. So I can see a potential use case. You're right. It may seem counterintuitive since that's like a competitor.
Right.
But
I like it so far. Still figuring it out. They got a lot of good tutorials, so I'm working on that. And,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of components. I haven't really used that much on it, but
expecting to get a little confused. But I got you for that.
There's a lot of settings on that one.
I'm calling on you. I don't get confused anymore. I call Ryan.
What is that software for? Is it setting up people that want to schedule software work with or development work with you?
Yeah, exactly. We have a whole webinar we did on this one. So if you guys go to that link I have in the chat, or you can find it on the Directory Toolkit homepage, just click on the orange Book Like a Boss. We got a walkthrough video here, and then we got the entire walkthrough, a kind of presentation on why you want to take bookings for your business, or why it's important, or have that capability, have that video there as well. But what it basically is, it's a booking service that ties in with your calendar, has a booking agent, and then you can automatically create a meeting in Zoom at a scheduled time, and then take money for the particular meeting. And it's all seamless. It integrates with your calendar. It doesn't let people schedule when you have something going. And then you can take payments through your Stripe as well. So for example, if anybody ever needs to get a hold of me, I do have this on the main page. I'll show you that embedded as well. But it's just bookme.name, mlocal. You can also do custom domain names. We were just talking about that with Frank this morning. I have not done that yet, but I may eventually do that. But it's just basically a setup on there. And so let's say you want to do, you can set up an actual counseling session. But if you want to set up an account with me or just discuss anything, you literally just have to go, hey, it's a 30-minute session. Let's schedule now. It opens up. Here's my calendar. It's tied in straight into, so I'm all booked for today. But you can tell for tomorrow, I've got some times available, and you literally just go, I want to talk to you at noon. It pops up and says, here's your name, email address, put in your cell phone number, and it automatically schedules a Zoom meeting, automatically sends you the email, automatically sends you a day prior and 1 hour prior emails and text messages to remind you of the meeting. And it's all automated. I literally, sometimes I don't know somebody booked, and all of a sudden, because I'm free, it just beeps me a half hour prior and says, you're meeting with Jane in 30 minutes. And I'm like, all right, cool. Didn't know she did anything. Didn't know she booked up. Really didn't bother me. It's in my schedule. If I actually paid attention to my schedule in the morning, otherwise it notifies me. And then you just jump in the Zoom meeting and go to town. And then obviously if you have, payment set up or whatever, you can also do the payment setup for there. So again, if you're doing the paid one, just for a consultation, we're not looking to set anything up or just to talk about potentially setting up anything. You can just go ahead and charge your just the account right there and pay for that session. So you can do all sorts of stuff. I think John's not on here today, but he's got his set up for his helpinars.com. And so his is just another setup, but he's got his more Gucci'd out than I do, but he's got details on different things he's offering. He goes over webinar setups. He's got a bunch of different services. You want that particular service. Each particular, service has a setup or a separate page where now we're on this service, and he kind of details what he's selling, what he's offering, the price, and then you have a calendar for that particular service. He has some testimonials on here as well. And some FAQs for that particular thing. So it's all kind of set up for you to do, take meetings and integrations. And then obviously the thing that all the directory members always want to know is, hey, does it integrate into your website? And it does that really well. I just have mine down here for booking a consultation, which I just added. The other day, I have it linked on the tab here. I used to just have a button linked in here with booking a consultation that opens up my other page. But you can just add it straight into the website.
That brings you out to the other website.
Yeah, that does.
Or does it keep it in?
Otherwise, you can.
Does it keep it in?
No, that I just linked that to that. It'll keep it in the same page. It'll you embed it right into the code if you want. Yeah.
It's funny. I bought MailView or MailView.
Yeah.
And I'm testing it out, and so there's some limitations that I was aware of. There's like an onboarding process they have, which means like
I told you that it was like if you've done the emailing before, I think that's why I said you're gonna have to coordinate with them just to show you already have the big list so they can turn the faucet on for you. Yes, I'm pretty sure I said that a couple times, but
yeah, I didn't hear that part, but so I set up actually a meeting with it because I said I can't just send out 250. I'm used to sending out 18,000 because I can't figure out because it could be that the 250 that they send out could be like people that aren't even opening them up. So anyway, I showed them my constant contact, and then I actually scheduled a meeting just like this on I think they use the same type of system that you're using for your for booking.
Yeah.
And I was on them this morning, so they went through and they actually updated my my DNS servers so that they could give me the 20,000 credits I needed.
Okay, good. So that worked out fine. I mean, it makes sense, right? I know why they do that because and they do that on the discussion. Like if they didn't do that, I'd be concerned because now I'm thinking everybody else is going to be hosing the IPs that I'm using, right, for deliverability. So it helps everybody in the end for them to be watchdogs like that and just not have people especially when you have unlimited sending or increased sending like that. You have the potentiality of people just jump in with the cheaper money and then just start spamming, and then it ruins everybody's reputation. So
yeah, I mean, I didn't realize it, but there's another funny thing is that they can't put a help button in their MailView program because Send and Blue won't let them do that. So their help button is actually on their homepage. It's weird.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, that's what I was telling you. It's not theirs, but it's just basically a repackaged thing. But that again, it's the same
white labeled
product, so it's just white labeled. And then
they're pretty nice though. I mean, I was getting ready to send one out on Friday, and then it was like, oh, you have 250. I'm like, this ain't gonna work.
So this is embedded on the webpage though. For you to see what it looks like, and it's just on my BD page, and it works exactly like it normally would be. So anyway,
that's cool.
So I'm
gonna have to get another account, I think, because I really want to do two different ones. I'm gonna investigate that different pages, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you want separate account or account stuff, you probably have to have a couple or get the company license, but that's obviously a lot of money. So
yeah, it's only money.
Yeah, it's only money. It's only money. Whatever that song is. I'm only human, but it's only money. I guess you could sing that song as well.
Does anybody have any experience having timeout issues with the pop-ups in the back office of BD?
Nope.
So I get. They said
in here, like
in your back office. Yeah.
What
so every single pop-up that I have, if I go in and go to quick edit on a member, the first time I touch any function, it times out, and I got to go back in, and then it's fine. And it happens on every single pop-up. And what they said is it could be an extension that's in my browser. Or
yeah,
you'll turn off Grammarly.
Yeah, Grammarly is the worst if you have.
Is that what it? I like it so much now. I got used to it.
Yeah, I use it, but I just turn it off if I'm working in the back end of BD.
Oh, that's funny. I never realized that.
Yep. That's the culprit, probably. I'm 90% sure that's what it is.
Well, you upload images sometimes. It's crazy. But yeah, I love it too. I can't live without it. Although I bought something, I just bought a lifetime deal on something that replaces it. So I got to try that out. I don't like.
Did you pay for Grammarly or are you using the free one?
I have a pro. I use the Pro. I rarely use a free anything. But when I can get a lifetime, I think the lifetime deal costs me what Grammarly's costing me for 3 months. So
Yeah, just like what happened with MailVio is saving me $2,000 a year.
I'm only charging half that, Jamie. So $1,000 is all that's going to cost you. So that's awesome.
Well, I saw how cheap your sessions are. I'm gonna take you for a whole day. It's like $20 an hour.
I keep telling him he's too cheap. He doesn't listen to me.
Wait, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
Too late. I'm going to show you a live demo of how to change pricing and book like a boss. Here we go.
Yeah, right. And this will be a permanent fix.
All right, so let me go ahead and do the walkthrough. Since we're about an hour in here, I'll go ahead and go over the slides. Can you guys see that?
Ryan, before you start, I switched Honey's daycare days, so I need to bug out at 3 to pick her up.
Okay, that's good. Can you guys see the presentation here?
Hold on, I lost everything.
Yeah, I can see everything.
Okay. Jamie, you're good?
Yeah, I just got out of it by mistake.
Okay, that's fine. I'm doing a new presentation method here. I'm going to switch back and forth to live view today, so I don't want to have to go back and forth. So, all right. So today we're going to go over the 4 services to execute UTM parameters, link shortening, and pixel tracking. We went over the UTM parameters, link shortening, and pixel stuff over the last couple weeks, and so it's going to kind of be a quick overview on this video, and then we'll go ahead and show you the 4 services just that we're going to talk about today. And these aren't the only 4 services. These are just some of the ones that I use, have some of the coolest new features and some of the services that I can offer up to you guys. I don't have that up right now, but we'll eventually post these to Directory Toolkit. Or if anybody's interested in any of the ones that we're going over today, give me a shout out and we'll discuss at a cheaper rate than is offered on the website. So we'll go over that today. I just want to go over with just a brief overview. Again, we're going to go over these 4 items: JotURL, UTM.io, Sharest, and Switchy. They all kind of do the same thing, but they're all a little bit different and maybe have a different focus that may be a better use case for you. A couple weeks ago, we went over the UTM codes and parameters. And basically what UTM codes are, you guys have probably seen them all the time. Facebook has little IDs on the back end of their links every time you go somewhere. But bottom line, here's an example on the website here of a directory toolkit one that I have. And basically all it does is it adds these parameters or items onto the back end of the URL and basically tells Google Analytics or some other analytic software some key details about either where that link was placed, who clicked it, what keyword caused them to show up, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the 6 things that are generally placed in a UTM code. It's the URL itself, the campaign source. So in this example, it's Google. The campaign medium, in this case, it is a CPC click campaign that we did. And then the campaign name, which is basically product for this one, but it could be summer sale or Black Friday, which apparently is going away this year for a lot of people. So the death of Black Friday 2020. The campaign content. So this one is coming from a webinar or focusing on a webinar. That's what we're promoting. And then the campaign term is what the keyword is that we're trying to place for or put the ad for AdWords or whatever UTMs. So basically, you add all those things in there. The Google CPC product webinar with the keyword UTM, and all of a sudden now you have very valuable data that can go into Google Analytics to basically say, did that work? Did I get a conversion off from that? Did people sign up to my list from that? And what it allows you to do is to know maybe who your good influencers are, or what medium. Maybe everybody's reading my emails through MailVio that Jamie's sending out, right? Maybe everybody's reading the emails and nobody is actually watching my webinars, right? Or clicking the links on there if I'm presenting those. So it kind of tells you where all your juice is coming in terms of your marketing effort. And there's a lot of stuff that those UTM codes can do. But obviously, very complex. usually you want to have a better way to do that than to hand code all those in, and you want to be able to keep track of those. So that's what UTM codes are. And then the second part of that is obviously those UTM codes get really long, right? And so you don't necessarily want to have those UTMs all the time. You want to make something nice and pretty. So that's where URL shorteners come in. I have the 4 on there again on the side there that I normally use for mine. And every time I get a major category of something, I normally grab a shortened URL link so I can use for these parameters. So there's my mlocal for military local. I've got some stuff I'm going to eventually do with that. Or Michigan local, I have that as well. My Hudsonville, Granville for the local town, so Hville link and Gville link. And then for my directory stuff is just dir.link. And so what that basically does is it allows you to use that with a little short code at the end, like A259. I'm sure you guys have seen that before. And so hville.link /M259 is a lot better than that, right? When you're trying to share a link or you're trying to post it somewhere, and it kind of hides some of the data as well. So here's some of the advantages. It prevents it from being messy. It doesn't reveal any information about your marketing because obviously if you see that, you know it's a Google webinar with the keyword UTM, and you can kind of know that. And then obviously some customers can be wary of links that are long and complicated. It looks like you're trying to do something to them or being nefarious, and so people like shorter links just inherently. So
that's what like MailView and Constant Contact create those when you do hyperlinks, right? So they're creating so that they can keep track of how many clicks. So basically, we can use these UTMs on any hyperlink, right?
Yep, you can. All right, and we're going to show you some of those softwares do that. They not only make the UTM code, but then they also have URL shorteners built in. And then the last one is the pixels, where you can add for remarketing for advertisements. So it allows you to do these 4 things, and we talked about that last week, where you can measure cross-device conversions, like how your different ads influence conversions on your shopping cart or your directory or whatever kind of end result money-making thing on your checkout for your membership, etc. Allows you to optimize delivery and take people to an action. So ensure that any ads that you're doing on Facebook or Pinterest or LinkedIn or Twitter or anywhere else, that they're shown to the most likely people to take action. So they can use the more data you have in the database based on these pixels of what content or who somebody is, the more likely you are to provide them with the proper ad and not waste your money on people that aren't going to buy or aren't likely to fill in a form for a lead, etc. And that allows you to create custom audiences from those website visitors. So let's say you want to just show it to people that have visited a certain page, or that have looked at a certain product on your website before, or just people that have bought and actually got to your checkout page. You want to show ads to people that have bought from you before. You can do all that with a pixel. And then the final thing, you can learn about the website traffic and get insights about how they use their website, where, funnel trafficking, like how they end up doing it. Do people from Facebook do stuff differently than they do from LinkedIn, et cetera, which in terms of ads. So to know where you want to do your marketing spend. So those are pixels. And again, some of these services allow you to add the pixel into which would normally just be on your website or your Brilliant Directories website. It allows you to add that pixel actually into the link itself, and then all that marketing data that you would normally have gotten from somebody going to a page, you can now get all that marketing data from somebody who has used your link, and so it becomes that much more rich and powerful on that. So UTM codes, URL shorteners, and pixels, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And so here's just a quick example. I just pulled this out of my emails last week on an email marketing example. I got a similar push email from somebody trying to sell the brand new launch of this doodle video thing that everybody seems to be pushing, right? Doodle Maker. And in 2 of the different emails, lo and behold, there you have it. There's their shortened URL, the tribe1.com and /doodle. And then the very next email I got was doodle1. And so now you can kind of see those are separate codes. And so they're going to be able to tell who clicked on one of those or which version of the email that I got sent out was actually working better. So let's say that they got better response from Doodle1, that link. Maybe the next time they promote this, it's going to be Doodle1 and Doodle2 because they're just going to scrap that first one. The other one worked better than the first one did. So they're just going to go Doodle1 next time. And then they're going to make some other changes that kind of refine either the offer or the language they put in there, and they'll make Doodle2. and then maybe Doodle 2 doesn't do as good as Doodle 1 again, and maybe now they just use Doodle 1 from now on, or that whatever's in that email, because they know that message really sold the product better than the other two did. So there's just an example of one I just got this very past week. So I'm just going to go through the services right now. I'm just going to briefly show you what these do. I'm going to do a live preview of all of them as we go. So the first one is UTM.io. I highlighted in red some of the very, very unique features that these have compared to the other ones, and kind of analyze which kind of cool features you think that would work better for you if you're looking for this kind of product. So UTM.io has a Chrome extension. So that's the unique thing about them. You don't have to go to a website to create a link. If you're browsing around, you're like, I want to share this page. You literally just click that on a button. It grabs the UTM parameters of like where the page is at, where you're trying to do, and gets all the URL data and stuff. And you can just make it straight on the page there. Just kind of type it in on the page, and then grab the link, and you're off to the races. So nothing to go to. It's kind of faster because it's got that Chrome extension built in there. The other thing it does is it allows you to have UTM presets. So basically you can set up, for example, if you want to share to Twitter with a particular keyword that you're focusing on for this month, you can already have that set up. So you literally go load the template, and it automatically fills in the medium is email, the source is Twitter, and the terminal, or whatever you want. You can set it up however you want. So basically, all you have to do is change the URL, or some of the other parts, or just replace the ones that you do want to adapt. But maybe the template has stuff in there, but you can kind of obviously replace them. But you don't have to start from scratch every time. You just load a template, and then you can move out on that. So because it's in that Chrome extension, we talked about that, it automatically grabs the URL of the page. It also, if you're a big Google Sync or Sheet person, it automatically syncs to a Google Sheet. So every time that you make a URL shortener, it'll add that link to a Google Sheet. And so you have a running tally list of all the links that you've made for later, with all of the separated, parsed out data. So you can kind of sort by tables and all that stuff too. So it does an automatic push to that. And then it also offers custom URLs, so you can use your short codes. It has a bit.ly built in as well if you don't want to use your own, and you can use a bit.ly short code, or you can use one of their own UTM.io as well. As the whole domain of UTM.io is actually short code, and you can use theirs as well. And then this allows you to take notes for each one. You can kind of see it on the screen there. It says notes are saved in your dashboard. So if you don't want to put it in the actual UTM parameters, you just want to type a note of like, I am doing this for John's email campaign for his new sneakers or whatever. You can put the notes in there, save it, and so you don't obviously you can kind of tell from the medium source and all that stuff what it is, but this allows you to add additional comments. And then finally, it also allows you to import the Google Analytics UTM. So if you already have some parameters set up in your Google Analytics account that you've been tracking before, you can one-click import all of the parameters that are already in your Google Analytics and have them available for quick links, basically to insert for the medium source, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously all this data, the UTM data, is built for going into Google Analytics and eventually. And so if you already have some stuff in there, this is the only one that'll auto import what you've already got in there to make those easy to use. So let me go show you what it looks like on the back end here. I am signed in on here. This is the parameters I talked to you about loading from Google Analytics. You can have some teammates and add on there. I'm just going to go ahead and create the link right here just to kind of show you what it looks like. You can download the Chrome extension, but let me just grab, I'll just grab the Brilliant Directories one here as an example. I'm just going to paste that one in there. And again, let's say it was content marketing and Facebook was my template. I only have a couple things set up on there, but you see it already put on there, content marketing promotion for the campaign. It's going to be on a post, and it's from Facebook. Let's say the keyword is blog, because we were talking about that. I'm going to save that as a new term. Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to use that. You can do different content if you want it on there. I'm just going to leave it blank. Let's say this is from the webinar demo. And then you can use, again, UTM.io. You can use Bitly. You have to authenticate it just so they don't get spammers. And then you can obviously use your own. I had originally set my HLife up one in here, but I don't have that active on this one now. And so that's it. You pick your shortener, and then you say shorten. It does it. And so now, here we go. There's my link. So instead of having that big, long Brilliant Directories thing with all these UTM campaign equals Medium post Facebook, now that one is ready for me to go, and it comes into my list here. And now this is my shortened URL, and I have all of that ready to go. It has some meager, click stuff here. How many clicks you get. This one's not that Gucci on the back end. This is more focusing on ease of getting the data. But now, again, all of that data is getting fed into my Google Analytics because I have that tied in there, and people are going to know when they click on that because it's going to start tracking all of those things in the Google Analytics. So any questions on that from the UTM.io? Pretty simple on this one, but that now is my short code that I can post on social media, etc. All right, let's go to the next one. This is called Sharest. I'm going to do a demo on this one in a second here. You guys can key that up on yours if you want to do it, share.tools/BD. But the cool thing about this one is it allows you to interact with your audience on any links that you share by adding calls to actions, banners, or opt-in forms, or any custom script that you have. So I'm going to go to that real quick. I'm just going to type it in here, share.tools. /BD, and this is the short URL I added in there. Short tools. Maybe I did that wrong. Oh, secure. There we go. Well, oh, capitals matter apparently. All right, so here we go. So I just loaded up that URL link I made earlier today, and it loaded up the BD Directories website, but it added in my ebook form right on top of BD's website. So now, if I'm promoting their web, and obviously this is a really huge one, I probably wouldn't use this one, but this is what I loaded up as a demo. But so now if I overlay that on their website, now I can close that out. And now I'm browsing around, the BD website like you normally would, but I basically added my own pop-up onto the screen. And so here's a couple of other examples that this one can do. So for instance, not that one. Let me do this one. So here's another pop-up over Wikipedia. It's kind of exactly like what I did. Here's a video. So they overlaid a video of theirs over top of a Wikipedia page. Again, this could be any web page you wanted. Here's a kind of blackened out pop-up closeout thing that goes over the screen. Here's a little bottom advertisement. You could actually put a AdWords or AdSense thing on here for doing, while other people are browsing, they could load your ads and stuff right over top of that. And then this one, I just realized what it is. This is just the search engine land website, but I've actually embedded a chat bot over top of somebody else's webpage. But that's the chat, you can load a chat bot right on the page. And so
what about the owners of those websites? Would they mind?
Well, so here's the thing. It's really not their website. It's basically what it's basically doing is overlaying that over top. So you notice it's not you're basically just giving them a short code link to get some content in the background. But it's really just loading it into an iframe or other content. It's not actually their page, if that makes sense. So what that's basically doing is showing a transparent overlay of an embedded website, basically, just to put your content over top of those. So nobody's ever going to go to brilliantdirectories.com and find your stuff. You're not stealing any of their traffic. You're utilizing your traffic. If that makes sense?
Yeah. It's a fantastic feature, It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're actually helping them out.
Yeah, because I'm going to their website, right? But I'm not losing the traffic, the eyes of the traffic. Like, so if I'm highlighting something on Brilliant Directories off from my directory toolkit, and I'm shoving them over to their website to go look at something, I can then bring them back to my site by having a pop up that shows up after 30 seconds that says, brings them back, or I can basically do whatever I want. The other thing this Sharest does is you can automatically get new URLs from an RSS feed. So everybody's directory has an RSS feed normally set up. So if you go to your Brilliant Directories /RSS, there's an RSS feed for everything that's posted on your website. It kind of actually adds that into the RSS feed. So what this is able to do is every time somebody posts an article or somebody posts an event or somebody posts a video, a new listing, this software can automatically grab and parse that UTM stuff into a new URL in a list. And you can just go grab any of that RSS feed URLs from your content and then just go post it on social media and kind of actually add in your calls to action or your overlays directly in there. So this is the only one that does that. And then the other cool thing this does is it allows you to do social edits. And what I mean by that is normally when you go ahead and share something online, you're going to grab whatever's there, right? And we've done this before. If I go to share my Hudsonville.com on Facebook, it's going to grab whatever's in the BD setup that you have for the meta tags, the image, etc. Well, what this allows you to do is that you can actually overwrite what is in the website. So if I am sharing BD's homepage in my social media, I can actually swap out the title, meta tags, and the image every time I share that with whatever I want. So again, I'm just controlling my own sharing. I'm just not reliant upon what that other site is doing. And so here's an example of Facebook. If I shared that share tools one with the overlay that I was doing, I've overwritten. This is what normally comes up for BD, but you notice on my share, it now says the best directory software recommended by directorytoolkit.com. But I didn't change anything. All I did was share that link, and that all of that embedded image, text, and recommendation, all that stuff is embedded in that code. So when Facebook goes to grab that, it's not just normally it would just go to whatever forwarding URL is that, and it would grab the best directory software is what it would say. But because I edited it, and it now says recommended by directorytoolkit.com, I basically overwrote what is Facebook would normally see for that website. So I'm just going to show you a demo on here of what it looks like. So when you go in here, you basically, choose your slug again. Hey, this is whatever BD. You put in the website that you want. You can choose your domain or your own custom domain if you have that. This is where you would customize. You can turn this on or off, but you customize the metadata description and image. So I added the recommended by directorytoolkit.com. You can actually change the image. So if you didn't want that one, you wanted something else, you could actually choose the image and have that swap out the image live. And then this one has the added features that other UTM-IO did not, where you can add a tracking code or pixel. And then you can add a custom script. So that I added my Beacon ebook script on there that I added in there. And then you can use other calls to action. And this one has tagging. So you can kind of tag. It's similar to the note structure the other one had, but this has a tagging structure. We just kind of tag it with different tags so you can easily find them later. And then once you're done with that, it gives you a secure and an unsecure link. And then it does have, some tracking data over a period of time, the total unique visitors and different views on different mobile and desktop, and then a call to action clicks to see how many people have actually clicked on your call to action that you had overlaid on the website. So a couple cool, unique features on this one. The swap out, the custom overlays are a couple. Any questions on that one?
Is that free or is it a paid?
No, all of these. I think the UTM has a free one. Some of these have free versions just with less clicks or less shares or whatever. I don't know if all of them have free, but most of them, all the ones I'm showing you there, are a paid service. But obviously, you're doing that to save money, right? Overall, so you're not wasting money on ads, or you'll eventually be able to target the proper people and make more sales later. So It's all about gathering the data for later targeting or marketing. So they do cost a little bit, but some of them do have free as well. So for that one, here's just a couple use cases for you. I kind of showed you some of them there. You can put chatbots on there. You could put ads. So you can actually put overlay ads on the site there. You can do opt-ins like I did for the ebook. You can retarget, so you can actually add retargeting pixels inside of that to kind of see where they're what pages they're browsing on when they get to that site, because you're loading that on the overlay. And then you could put videos in there, which I showed you. You could do quizzes. Actually, put a live chat in there instead of a chat bot. And then you can do any custom code you want. Again, this is the only one that does any custom code that you want. It'll overlay that. So the next one is JotURL. And so this one has project monitoring. So kind of like a folders type thing where it basically organizes your content and the tracking links within custom projects. It also doesn't have an actual widget for Chrome, but it has a bookmarklet that you can drag and drop into your bookmarks. And so again, if you use that bookmarklet, which is basically has some code in that where you drag into Chrome, you click that button and that'll auto grab that info from the browser like the UTM.io did. This one also has UTM templates and parameters, so you can do that, including this one's unique that it has custom parameters. So you can basically, instead of campaign or medium, you could have, like a parameter called Sully or Ryan, right? And then you put whatever you want, and you can have your own. So you're not relying upon those 6 main ones. You can make their own custom question mark, whatever you want, and add those to your heart's content. This one also has call to actions, but this is the other one you have to add a script or a pop-up or something you already have. This is the only one that has a call to action builder where it'll actually allow you to make your own call to actions that you can overlay on the page. It obviously tracks views, clicks, conversions, and revenues. This one actually tracks conversions. So for example, if you have a shopping cart set up or you have a certain conversion thing, you can actually do some monetization calculations on there just by saying how much each one's worth and go to the end and kind of see how which ones are making you the most money just inside the system. This one also has deep links, and what those are is you can actually target directly inside of a particular page in a particular app on your phone instead of just forwarding it to a website. So if I clicked HVille link / Twitter, I could actually have that link open up the Twitter app and a specific page inside of the Twitter app on my phone just by clicking a link, which the other ones do not have. So you can kind of go directly into, and these are the supported apps right now. They have Amazon, Facebook, Home Shopping Network, Instagram, Messenger, Twitter, Walmart, and YouTube and Product Hunt. So I don't know if those are expanding, if they're adding those on there, but that's what they're advertising that they support right now for the deep links. So for example, I'm pretty sure you could link directly to an Amazon tagged affiliate purchase link on somebody's phone just by clicking a link inside of your website. So that's kind of cool. They have custom URLs as well. This one has A/B testing. So basically you can experiment with multiple variations and optimize the conversion rate. So you can have the same one URL and have it to go to like 5 different websites or 5 different blog posts. Let's say I'm like, click here for a Brilliant Directories blog post. I could have that randomly go to 5 different blogs in there with the same URL. So you don't have to have multiple to kind of test it. And then you can kind of see which one converts best. This one also has a smart rotator. So you can, if somebody's come back and has clicked that link before, it's going to give them a different message or route them or share the traffic to a different A/B test that you have set up. So if you came and clicked my link once already and went to the one blog post for BD, if you click it again, it's going to go to a different blog post because it tracks and knows which ones you've already looked at. So it doesn't like have repeat contact and upset your customers, it'll find a new one. And then another cool one that this one has, it has QR code templates. So I have one of my directory code or directory toolkit ones right there. If you hover your phone over that, that will actually go to the JotURL website. But you can actually print out or put these on a card or put them wherever you want. And instead of just going to a particular web page like most QR codes go to, this QR code will actually go to that shortened link, and it will pull all that tracking data in there just as if they were digitally clicking on something on your website. So now you can put these QR codes for advertisements or links on physical products or printouts or whatever, and you can now know which flyer you handed out had the best conversion rate because you are tracking what QR code you had on the flyer or postcard or direct mail or whatever it is. So this brings the offline to the online in terms of getting that data. And then it also has notes and tags for this one as well. So I'm logged in to my JotURL account here. I'm just going to go, I'm in my directory one account team here. I'm just going to go ahead and make a link. So I'm going to go ahead here and click the tracking link. This one just kind of has a pop-up. So here you put in the destination URL. There's my website. You can do the, it kind of does successive pop-ups here on the side. I can do the URL parameters here where I add in all those different parameters. I can add a parameter. So here's the custom ones we've talked about where you can make your own. And then once I click on this, the template, it opens up even further. And here's where I can go add in all my saved templates. So if I had a template in there, I could just load it right there. So close that out. That would be where my template goes or any custom. And then that's where my UTM is picked. I can pick my custom or shorter. It's Jomi is their shortened one, but you can do your own branded one. And then the alias. And then this is kind of cool as a little generate a unique alias. So you can kind of just, if you don't like that one, you can just keep swapping that out as you go. And then it'll also tell you if it's unique. So like if you had something in there already saved as linked or whatever, it'll tell you that if that's unique or not. It'll auto generate and tell you that. So I already have one in there linked, so you just added a 0, and now that's a unique one because I already had one in there that said link. You can add notes in here, add tags. You could do projects, so those are the kind of folder things. And then this is where you add a call to action that you make. The conversion codes for the marketing stuff. If you have a conversion code that you want to add from a shopping cart or something like that, a URL parameter, you can add that there, and then the remarketing pixels right there. And then this also allows you to create multiple tracking links, so you can actually have multiple links that go to the same spot. So basically make a bunch of random ones. So maybe you have 5 and you want to give it, put different links somewhere, but it actually goes to the same spot. So that's that. That's basically creating the link. This is the calls to action. So this is the builder that I said that is unique to this one. So all you have to do is add a call to action here, and this is what you would pull from the menu after you create it. And so these have already preset ones here for you. So this is a button, and it just kind of shows you what it would do. So it makes this. You can change the link and stuff, and what the pop-up is. You can kind of see how it would look like on various looks for mobile or different viewpoints. So you can kind of see that. Here's the button. It has the call me feature where you can just put in your telephone number, and it'll have the one-click thing on mobile or any other website thing to call you. And again, you can overlay that on any website. You can add a form in there and add parameters in there where it actually comes up with a form for people to fill out to get their email or whatever. You can add banner ads that we talked about. So if you want to upload an image or actually put some stuff there, you can put that on the website. Text link, social opt-in. Again, you can just say, hey, join my Facebook group and all the normal social tags there on the overlay. And you can also hide it. So you can add some code in there, but just kind of be there, but not know that it's there and be tracking some stuff. And then here's the application thing where you can do the deep embedding into your Smart App Banner and Safari or iOS stuff where you can kind of do some deep linking. So it doesn't have the universal script like the other one does. It's kind of more preset ones, but it does have you ability to embed and do some stuff that if you don't already have something set up like the other one. Here's the conversions one. I won't get into that one too much there, where you can kind of set it up for, for last conversion and the actual value of a sale. Here's the remarketing stuff. You can add as many pixels as you want into this one just by adding the remarketing stuff, and you would just pick your Bing or Facebook or AdWords or ManyChat, Pinterest, Quora, Twitter. All those you can add in there. And then it has an analytics package as well, where it'll tell you all the stats and money if you had the overview for different things. And I haven't used this one, so I don't have any data here to show you, but you can download the data, print it out, and do other presentations with the actual software. So any questions on this one? So a couple really unique, and so this is more, I guess, geared for shopping stuff or conversions or deep linking to, embedding for shopping stuff, so more of a, let's say, shopping thing or like money making kind of setup for this. And then the last one today is the Switchy. So Switchy has link folders as well. It has the UTM templates, which we've gone over. It also has the branding and social editing where you can change the fab icon as well and swap that out. It does the A/B split testing with one link to multiple destinations. It can do the custom domain. And then a unique one to this one is that it does geolocation. So you can redirect your users to a different destination depending on their country. So if they're in Australia, you can push them to a certain link. And if they're in the US, you can put them somewhere else. Now, it says country. I'll have to look at that. I don't remember if it does it more refined than that. Obviously, that would be useful if it did. Otherwise, it's more of an international thing, or to make sure you push US one location and international another one if you want for currency thing or a different page, etc. And then you can do multiple pixels on this one as well. So you can add, some of them are only 1 pixel. This one does as many as you want to track, capture, and retarget users on your different platforms. And then this one also has tags as well. So let's go over that real quick for this one. And I don't know if I loaded this one up. There we go. Oh, that was this one. I was just demoing. So this one, you just create a link. You literally just paste your link in here. And let me do this one for an example, just to kind of switch it up and show you what it looks like. It'll automatically pull in. Just hit there and you just preview. It'll automatically pull in the link, what it's going to look like, which is kind of unique. You don't have to wait to actually post it. It'll actually show you. You can then upload a new picture like you could the other one. So we'll do the same thing, recommended by, director toolkit, right? Whatever you want, change that stuff out. You can add all the pixels here for as many as you want. You can edit the UTM codes here. You can load it from a template, choose your domain name or customize to your own. You can also, for advanced options, you can then add the folder, again, tags. There's the A/B rotating. So you go, hey, send them to this link. And this one's unique in that it doesn't just rotate it. You can actually set the percentages. So you can go 50-50, 75-25. And then you can actually, this is where you add a redirection. And it does look like it is country only. So this is geolocation for the country. You can, this is also GDPR pop-up compliant. If you want to do that, and I imagine for the overlay stuff, I think probably Olga for you, usually they're all over this GDPR stuff. There's probably something you have to warn them that you're putting that overlay at somebody's site or something, and this one does have that capability. And then it lets you change the fab icon there out from the normal BD one if you want, and then you just click that to get your new link, and then it makes the new link. I think it's not going to do that because there we go. So that's it. It's got the little short thing there. You copy it and then do whatever you need to, and it adds that to the list. This one does as well have additional stuff, so you can see the stats. Obviously, I haven't used that one yet. But this one has clicks, users refer, different devices, kind of some of the similar stuff that you'd see on Google Analytics. You can actually share the link. You can download the QR code for this one as well in different formats. Probably PNG for most people there, and have the same thing as that other one did. And then this one does have duplication on this one, which is nice because you can create one and kind of duplicate it and then just go edit what's changed on there. And then I didn't really mention it on some of these. They have bulk import export on most of these, where if you have a list of somewhere, you export them from somewhere else, you can bulk import, auto convert them into the shortened code or export them as well. So there we go. You guys, we'll just toss it over. We can talk any other BD stuff. We can talk about any of this stuff as well, but some pretty unique capabilities in some of these, whether it be geolocation, changing the images, getting QR codes for offline stuff, whether it be adding remarketing pixels, UTM parameters, or just a short code for all your stuff. The key to this, obviously, is that the earlier you do something like this and the longer all your links are out there and kind of set, the more data you're going to have, the more retargeting information you're going to have on who visited your site or who clicked on your link or who actually looked at your flyer at the local pub, right? Because people have been snapping your QR image or clicking your link for the last 24 months, and you kind of now have some data to go off from. So when you run your Facebook ad and you say select people who have been to my website, it's literally just going to go to the people that have been on your website, and you're not wasting your money. So, any questions?
Well, the only thing that it looks like they're more useful than the landing page builders, or it wouldn't substitute the landing pages. Well,
I mean, a landing page is built for conversion, right? So these aren't landing pages. They're because you're still trying to convert somebody on. You still have to put content on paper for people to read, right? So they're kind of different purposes. A little bit.
The landing pages that are generic to your domain name that you're building on your website, the ones that people would normally use on the side, like lead pages and stuff like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, you can they'll key to that one, except for the overlay ones, where you kind of need to have it on that domain in order to do the overlay. Most of them are going to forward automatically. It's just tagging that data onto that. So it's automatically gonna to load that. So let me go to that last one I did. Does that make sense? So like you click on that, it just grabs the data, and then it's going to forward it to the actual Brilliant Directories website. It's not going to stay on some other. It's just going to load that up. But now you've got some data from the clicked link. Does that make sense? Excuse me. Because
they can click on it and get into their website, or
what do you mean get into their website?
Well, when you're overlaid, under that is the actual website, right?
Right. It's kind of a newer version of the old. You used to be able to add like a 1 pixel frame at the top when they were doing frames. It would have 1 pixel at the top that was the real page, and then the 99% of the rest of the page was an iframe embed of some other website, and so it looked like the other website, but it was actually yours. That's existed since the internet began. This is kind of a more, legal way, because it's basically just overlaying. It's not actually embedding it anywhere. Anybody else have any, questions on BD or anything?
I got a BD question.
Sure.
I noticed some of my members, their Facebook widget shows up, but sometimes it doesn't. It even though they have the URL in there. Have you noticed anything?
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a glitch. Normally, you can point to something that is just not right with the URL, and it's not BD's fault. It's just the widget. So it needs to be a business page. It cannot be a group. And
right.
it needs to be available to the public. It cannot be a private page. So if either one of those two things is true, it's just going to show the blank widget and not load properly. So normally it's a setting in Facebook, or they got to make it public and not private, and then it shows up right away. So that's generally why it's not showing up for somebody.
Does it matter if it's HTTP or HTTPS?
When you add it in the back end?
And yeah, well, no, when they're putting it on their
On their profile.
dashboard. Yeah.
I don't know that it allows them to do the wrong thing.
Okay, because I noticed, which is weird, the one that it didn't make it a difference, but however they put it in, it was not secure. And then when I went and did it myself, I logged in as themselves and went to their Facebook, copied the Facebook and put it in there. It had the secure one in there. So I don't know if it.
That's a great. Maybe that.
But it didn't change it. It didn't make a difference though.
Oh, you didn't solve it then.
No,
I
thought I figured it out. But
oh, okay.
I just don't know how they would have got non-secure if it's either secure or not secure, right?
Yeah, it is. But okay, yeah. So it's working without secure on this one. I'm gonna save it with secure. So this one was working with it unsecure. Let me just change it, and this will kind of put that to rest. If it works with either one, then I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I don't think it does matter because it didn't change it when I secured it. But I thought
I just want to make sure it doesn't screw it up. So it works either way.
What's weird is isn't it all Facebook URLs secure? Or is it all depending on the browser someone's using?
This is Mark. Sorry, I had a couple client things. I know all the social media platforms. I think they're all secured. They're all HTTPS.
Yeah, it's so strange that they were able to copy a non-secure link.
Oh.
Yeah,
unless it created
its both though. So
what?
It does work with both. They didn't have it secure and it worked fine. So
I'll just find out if it's public. So the other thing, it's either going to be public or.
Yeah, I don't know if Twitter does the same thing. I don't have my Twitter turned on.
Well, this person has a Twitter feed on it.
Okay.
And it's working. Their Twitter's working, but their Facebook isn't.
This one's just more engaging with photos. I just don't turn the Twitter. I have other stuff to put on the sidebars. But yeah, I have seen some of those, and I've had a couple that have said like, no, it's they show me the page, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like it's not private, and it's a company page. I don't know, and so that's all that BD's ever said is like, that's out of our hands. It's nothing wrong with the script. It's just Facebook's not loading it, so it's kind of, I don't know. It needs to be private. It needs to be a business, and then those are set. Then kind of like not our problem. I don't think it's anything that they said that's wrong with their widget. This is just Facebook's script. It's not them. They're just allowing you to put it in a widget. So,
do they allow for more than the two, like also Instagram as well?
No, it's just Facebook and Twitter. I do installs of the Twitter one. If you guys want to do that for your domain, it's $60 to do one time to install that. But I'll just show you where that's at if you guys want to ever go order it. Anybody watching this, but just go to the directorytoolkit.com and it's right here, Instagram feed. Just click on that. But that's what it looks like. It just adds a 3x4 of the latest Instagram photos with the number of posts, followers, and all that stuff, and you can just one click into the Instagram page from there and for that particular photo.
So it shows underneath their. Just go back to that again.
Yeah. Yeah, so it just shows up on the overview tab at the bottom. Or wherever you want.
Interesting.
I've had we can also add it in the tab there for you. So I think
It's a widget, right? I assume.
correct. Yeah. I think I'm just going to try to find one with I think this one had a.
Find your baker.
Yeah, you want to find your baker near
Is that
you?
national?
It's actually UK, but I think it's all across the world, international actually.
Hmm.
So let me view this one. There we go. So this one, they just have it just synced so they can put whatever they want, and then the Instagram's in the tab here.
Oh, they created a tab. Or you created a tab.
It's not showing up. Make sure theirs is working. Maybe they be one of those weird things where it's not showing up.
They updated, put an update in it and didn't update it.
Yeah, we'll check it out.
While you're doing that, I got a quick question on videos.
Yeah.
Is there? I mean, obviously, there's a certain limit of space that they give you at BD, right?
Yep.
On their servers, like, what's a good? Like right now, I think I'm giving my higher membership, like the ability to add 3 videos, and the other one no videos. But is that too many? Is 3 videos too much?
Well,
Like,
you're talking bandwidth. This is why you would like. I'm just going to go to my videos real quick here. This doesn't take any space on yours because you're hosting them somewhere else. Like this is at YouTube, so all the bandwidth is coming from YouTube. It's just embedding in your directory. So, video is almost a freebie. I would be very wary about images because that's on your service, and those take a lot of storage to render. So,
are they uploading the video, or are they just putting a URL to the video?
Just the URL. They're just putting the YouTube URL. So when you go in there,
like I haven't done it on my own.
Yeah, they just add the URL in there, and then it just pops up on here with the YouTube video. Is all it is. So it's just a YouTube embed.
Would the same hold true for like audio, like podcasts, that type of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Because usually putting the embed code in there, it's just on SoundCloud.
Oh, the photos is where the problem is.
The photos.
And it doesn't. Their system doesn't optimize the photos. It'll pull it up raw.
No, it does. It does optimize it. I think. I mean, I don't think it uploads. If it's a 5,000 by 3,000 image, I don't think it's uploading the whole thing.
If I upload a 10 meg image, will it? I don't know if it'll let it, but will it compress it to?
I don't know. I don't use those on mine that much, and so I haven't tested that out. To be honest, this is just me, but if I had an image intensive site, I would probably pay a developer to integrate one of those CDN servers in there, and then have that pull the images from there. Is what I would do.
Are you talking about member uploads, or are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. There's some that actually you are just scripts you can actually add into the website. It'll automatically grab the image, upload it to their CDN, and then reformat it, and then basically replace it with the script. The actual not the link. It'll just render when the browser goes to pull your images / really big image .jpeg.
It'll be a URL.
It'll pull the other CDN instead of yours.
Huh.
And so usually those have optimized graphics and stuff, and can dynamically pull those out, and it's just cheaper because you're not paying BD for whatever per 20 gigabytes. It's like you have a terabyte.
Does that work with the same in the back end or no? Like back off if you're uploading your images for design of your website.
No, you would just upload it, and then the script, when it goes to pull it on the front end, will upload it the first time into this thing, and then just every time you load it after that, it'll be that version. I think I have.
you get a warning from them once you're getting close to taking up all your space that you purchased?
Well, you obviously get the in the dashboard here. You can tell what, or on the dashboard, how much, it says, hey, you've used whatever of 20 gigabytes. It's on the front and it'll go red. Yeah, if you go over, they'll contact you. You'll know probably. I don't think it's really strict necessarily, but they'll basically contact you and go, hey, you went over. What can we do? Is this like a one-time thing? If it happens again, you're going to need to upgrade, or you can buy obviously the upgrade a bunch of times. So even if you get the VIP add-ons, you can buy another monthly 20 gigabyte add-on on top of what you've already got. And they'll just do that.
I see. Available storage or bandwidth.
Yeah. So here's an example. This isn't images, but I did this for video, just for testing out for the service. You notice on this one, this is a Google YouTube video that they uploaded. But you notice for mine, it's not YouTube anymore. So if I right click on there, you can't get the URL. You can't tell this is a YouTube video. Because what it basically it pulled the video that they uploaded. It's now on the CDN service, so now it's a little bit faster because I'm not using BD's server anymore, or YouTube or anything to go through them. It's just basically the CDN network, and so now I can change the icon out. I can actually put overlays on top there if I want. I didn't do that because this is obviously their video; it's not mine. But you can do that. You can change out the look or feel. So this is YouTube. But it doesn't look like YouTube. So now if I play it on here,
Right.
So it's just it's basically a proprietary look, right? It looks like it's on my site. It's not YouTube, but it's using the same BD system. I didn't change anything in BD code other than put a script inside the website. So
they can only really upload or put in links that are either, I guess, YouTube only, right? Or it could be any other. Could be Venmo or Vine.
Yeah, but again, you have, and I'll just go over this real quick for everybody. You now have the capability to add whatever you want in any of those these editors right here, any of these with these, where you can insert an image, or insert a link, or insert the code. You can embed the stuff that you want in here as well now from any embed source. There's just a couple things that you have to do. So I'll make this the last topic for today, and then I'll just close out if anybody has any last minute things before we leave. But you go to the advanced settings, and all I would type in here in the advanced settings to get both of the requirements in here is just type in, once it comes up, type in iframe. There we go. Hello. It is doing some weird refresh things today. So just type in iframe and hit enter. So here's a couple things you'll need to do. Make sure if you have any weird tags inside the HTML code or something else, you'll want to whitelist the allowed tags here if there's something funky with that one that you're doing. Because again, they don't know all the different coding structures, or whitelist all of them. So if there's some other tag in there, make sure it's in there. And then here's some other allowed empty tags. So for some reason, there are some empty tags in there. They don't have any data. It would normally parse those out, but sometimes they need some in there just for the code or whatever. So just so it doesn't strip it out, if there's any empty ones, i.e., you have like button like that, and then button like that. That is an empty tag where it's like that, and then there's nothing there. It closes out. Normally, it would just get rid of that. So if you have any empty tags in the code, you want to make sure you put it there. And then this is the real kicker here is the allowed iframe sources. You want to make sure that it's defaulting to what's automatically authorized in the system: SoundCloud, YouTube, Vimeo, and Facebook. But if you have some other third-party embed, let's say you have coolvideo.com as an embed script, you need to add the URL there, or if it's a subdomain, those are deemed a different domain. So if it's app.coolvideo.com, you have to add those domains in there, and then it will not parse out or delete the code from the iframe code. It'll let it stay in there, because if you do not put it in here, or if you don't whitelist it, or if it's empty and doesn't in here, it'll literally just, you add it in there, you save it, and it just goes away, because it basically it's smart enough. It just strips everything that's either unsafe or not authorized on there and gets rid of it. So it does this to basically prevent anybody else from adding in nefarious, code into those things, but allows you as the admin to put in the ones that matter that you need to operate whatever you're putting in there.
Did they change the dashboard look? I noticed yesterday their dashboard looked different than mine on their webinar.
The dashboards do look different based on whether you have finished up the site or not. So let me just go to a blank one, for example, that hasn't been touched. Like it has different stuff on there based on what you've done. So like yours won't have any of these in here because I haven't set any of these up. It has a demo video. As soon as you connect the domain, that's going to go green. These are all green. Those all disappear. That moves up, and now you're straight into the few members or whatever. And then similar to that, and this is what we were talking about earlier about your bandwidth. You can kind of see, how close you are to, and that's fairly new, probably the last month where they kind of updated all these things, which are kind of nice.
Can you send that image software that you use that you were showing us? The
which
redirect, the one that you said that uploads your images to, and then it does the redirect or whatever.
Oh, there's two of them. There's two of them that do the images. So, Sharest, I think, does the images, and then the Switchy.io.
Is that what?
So, and again, I can, if you're
the one that you're using for the embedded video.
Oh, you're talking this one. Is this what
Yeah,
you're
like
talking
that? Yeah, is that the same thing that also where you said that you upload your images?
Oh, okay. You want to know the image swap? No, those are two different things. One's one's for images, and the I actually didn't show you any of the image ones. And this is for video. Let me go. I'll try to find one for you just so you can see the URL. And this will be the last thing I do here. Let's see CDN. Okay, so there's going to be a couple. I'm going to throw out a couple at you guys, and you guys can go take a look at these later. So it is, here's one of them. It's called gumlet.com, and this is basically automatically optimizes the image for your site, and then can change out based on the format of the size, of the platform. So if it's a small phone size, it's only going to download a small one, but if it's the larger desktop, it'll download the larger one. So they kind of optimize for all of them, but you don't waste the bandwidth.
We're not seeing anything.
Oh, sorry.
Can you share that URL in the chat?
Yeah. So there's one. Gumlet.com, and then here's the last one. I'll share my screen here in a second. Okay, so again, gumlet.com, and that swaps out the images. Not very pretty website from my vantage point for what it does, but it does dynamically swap them out. It does responsive images, and it also does different sizing based on again what's trying to load, and then you can also dynamically change the image based on URL coding. So you can kind of see here as they're going through here, if you have the images down in there, you can automatically add blurs, invert, change the size, do grayscale or sepia, change the width and height just by changing the URL. You don't have to upload or resize a new image. You don't have to go into your platform and change to to grayscale and then upload a new image that's gray, you literally, since it's on their server and it's dynamically parsed, you basically just change the URL to whatever you want, and it automatically will change the image with the same image on your website.
Wow.
Here's short pixel.
You would do a blur to make them click on it to see what it really looks like, right? I would assume.
Yeah, you could do that, or yeah, actually, I don't know why you'd use. Yeah, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, maybe so they're like, oh God, it looks like a cool picture, but.
So this one just does the compress and optimize images for your site for different images. It does up to 90% compression. It's got a WordPress plugin. Obviously speeds up your website. So again, it does the same thing too, where you just basically put it in a CDN here, and it'll change those out. And then the last one that I use is this one, is Publitio. And it's the same thing. This one does images and videos in other files, so it'll actually do the URL-based transformations, kind of like we were resizing, cropping, and converting. It'll also do the media player with different ads, so you can do overlays on there, and then you can also watermark stuff, like I was saying. And it just does a CDN, and again, you can just use it with coding. And so they got a couple of examples in here of the player and how
and they basically host all the photos.
They host all the photos, yeah. And
It'd be
so
nice if Dropbox offered that.
Yeah, well, that's just for file, but I mean, this does files too, so you can also add in files in there and do some sharing and stuff too. So
and then you can have all the PDFs that that the members upload can it go that way? Or
I don't know. Well, it has API access, so again, you'd have to pay a developer to do it. But yeah, totally. I was just letting you know, some of these just do it natively with a script. You don't have to touch the code. It just pulls the things off your site and does it. I don't remember which one is which. Some of these you actually have to install into upload into this, and then grab the link and put it in somewhere.
Sure.
But just to, for example, it has a lot of other capabilities, right? But for 50 gigs, that's $29 a month for 50. So again, it's cheaper than BD would if you're going to use that.
And is
this
it for limited websites, or it's a full-on website, or it's just for a number of images it all works?
Let me go back there real quick. I mean, whatever it says in there, I don't remember if it's unlimited or not.
On using it in multiple websites, you're saying?
Yeah.
I think this one's because it's I don't think it matters. It's any of them because it's storing it there. So as long as you're putting the embed code or have that code or that script, or you're pasting in the link to that, it'll play it. In fact, that's why for the higher models here, it actually adds this in where it has domain level protection. So nobody can pull the video or image unless it's a whitelisted domain in user bandwidth, or if somebody just grabs that link or something.
Oh, it's good for photography companies.
Yeah.
Right. Yep, exactly. Because then they can watermark it. And then as soon as you buy it, probably it just takes the watermark off, and now you can grab the image or something. So yeah, it's kind of built in with that. But this is an example of how that would work on here. Because I have 300 gigabytes on here and a 1.5 terabytes of bandwidth, right? But you basically just add in a file. Let me go to the files here real quick. Just kind of.
That's the one. So you use Public.
I use all three of those, but this is just an example of. So I have you can put folders in here and add stuff in here. So all the stuff that I like, for example, all the code I give out on my website that has URLs in it. I just store in here. So if somebody's using my code to put the Google Store example, in my website, they're pulling they're not using their bandwidth either. They're pulling it off from my CDN basically, because I'm using that. But now you can copy the URL, right? And so now I have, this is the file. And so when I link to it in BD, I add that image, but I can change the size, and just by adding different stuff on there, and then you can share it out as well, et cetera, et cetera. And
Are you using all three because you're reselling them, or are you using them because you like them all?
Well, they all have unique aspects, right? So I just I never know which one I'm going to like. So, but here's an example of that one. So for that Google badge, right? It has an embed URL, so I can just copy the URL and I can embed that just with that HTML page. I can now play or a video or the image. It basically just loads that into URL. So if that was a video, right, it would play, or it has its own URL. I can just link to a source, so it has a one-click image tag like you'd use for HTML with the source, and then here it has the width and size and stuff like that I can change, obviously, and for the source. It has an iframe source if you want to embed it in an iframe again. So if this is a video, it would have the iframe embed, the source embed, and then it also has a digital player. So, for example, I don't know if I have. Let me do a sound here for an example. I'm gonna share this one. I'm gonna do a player. Here's a div code for a player, but let me do the embed URL. So this would be the same thing for a player, right? So now I can put the sound inside of my website. Whatever sound you had, but that would be inside of an embed, right?
That'd be good.
Right.
It'd be good for embedded into newsletters that you email out.
Right, exactly. So it has all the code for that, just at a one-click thing for whatever you upload. So that could be that. It could be I think, like I said, any other file as well. I'm just trying to see if I have another. So again, here's some demo images I do for some of the demo stuff. Let me see. I'm trying to find a product here.
But all three do roughly the same thing. Just
a little bit different. So again, you just have to go through the feature sets and see what are you trying to do? What are you trying to action with that? I was going to try to find. I'm just going to try to find a PDF here. There we go. I'm not going to do that. It's fine. How to launch a product. Book like a boss, 5 hacks. There we go. So we're just talking about that today. So you can set it to public. You can do video encryption again, so you can kind of stop people from doing that so they can't download it or whatever. But that's it. So start upload, and then as soon as it's uploaded again, it just automatically adds it in there with all your stuff, and now it's ready to go. One click. Here's my embedded URL. So it's a PDF. Again, most of the time it tries to download it. On the thing, I don't know what PDFs. I don't know if it has a PDF player or not. So again, like I said, I may not do everything. Iframe player. So anyway, I'd go look at that. I think maybe this one you have to do the embed, and it embeds the PDF inside of the iframe, so it just loads it into the website. So. I think let me actually show you one on here because I think I did that with mine. Just gotta find. I did one for BD. Just a real quick demo. Just make sure if that was a video or a article. I think it was this one. Yeah. So here's an example. So here's their here's a video from BD or whatever, and then I just have the content in a PDF embedded on the website, right? So so you can put different content on there just inside there. So anyway, it just depends on what service you want to do or how you want to set it up. So. All right, we're at our time there. Any last minute stuff from anybody before we sign off?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for showing up again. And again, we'll post this to directoryvideos.com or directorytoolkit.com. And I look forward to seeing everybody next week for directory webinar number 14. Now that we have all of the UTM and pixels and we know have our short code to post somewhere with a tracking link. Next week, we're going to go over a social media platform and on how you actually add content to social media with all of those items. So now that we went over Crello and how to make your image, and now we have a link to actually share that image, we're going to show some social media posting software for next week. So that's what we're doing. All right. See everybody next week.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Brian.
Thank you.